The new year is fastly approaching, and a lot of times I get this question: if you had this amount of money, what would you do with it? So today I'm going to dive into how to invest $10,000, or just in general, if you have a lump sum of money and you don't know what to do with it, we're going to dive into how I would invest it. Now, this is not me telling you what exactly to do, but this is some of the things that I would have done if I get $10,000 today, like let's say inheritance or an investment property. We flip it, we get this money. What would I do? So let's dive in. So I'm going to share my screen here. And so I'm really going to be using some of the things that I've been discussing on the channel. And so let's go. And so for some of the things that we've been discussing, if you don't know, of course, you can go to the channel to see, okay, what we would consider if you were, let's say, to figure out what I'm talking about. So let's say we get $10,000, right? Here we go. Wapa, somebody gives us 10K. Now I have to, right out the gate, I love my CDs. And so I would definitely be using the CDs. And so if you guys recall, I talked about the CD ladder. And so I would be putting about 6K away in a CD. I know it sounds like, that sounds like a lot. But I may move some stuff around. Let's see what I say here. And so $2,000, I would lock that in a CD for a year, right? And so let's say we start this at the top of the year. Let's say 2026 is on the horizon. So if we do it in 2026, so I'm going to lock in and we could start now, you can always prep for the new year now. And so I would do a 12-month CD for the first 2K. So of course, this is a CD. And CDs are certificates of deposits. And so if you put your money in these, you lock it in for 12 months, and then you get a certain interest rate back on your money annually or, monthly, depending on the bank. Okay, so 2K for 12 months. But remember, we talked about the CD ladder. So then I would do another $2,000. But instead of doing 12 months, I'm going to do 24 months. Right? This way, we're not putting 6K in 12 months, because you never know what happens with the rates, the interest rates and stuff like that. So we want to stagger this, and we do this. This is the ladder method that I talked about previously, the CD ladder. And then this one would be 36 months. Now you could do like 6 months, then 12 months, 18 months. It depends on you and what you want to do with your money. And also the rates. The rates that we're getting is also going to be important. Okay. All right. So that is going to be 6K that is tucked away. I don't know. Let me see. I may move some of it. Maybe it's not 6K. All righty. Next, I definitely, we never know what's going to happen in life. And so I'm going to put $1,000. And this is going to be like my emergency. Let's call that. Of course, we need emergency money. But I always say, if you have an emergency fund, you want to put that in an HYSA. So this is going to go into a high yield savings account of your choice. And of course, I always say that you want to pick the best rate. Yes, the best rate. So 246. All right. So now we're left with $3,000. Of course, we got to go to the stock market. Yes, we got to put some of this money in the stock market. And so I would say, okay, so we have $3,000 left. So since we have 3K left, what would I do here? I would probably I have to use my index and my, you want to have dividend stocks. Okay, so I'm going to have to move 2K here. Oops. Instead of putting that second so I'm going to put this 2K in some dividend stocks. And because it depends on the type of stocks that you have, right? Your dividend stocks are going to give you back return on your money, and you're going to get paid just because you own those stocks. So you're going to be getting paid double, and sometimes that's going to be more than a CD. It depends on the stock. Of course, you got to do your research. I always talk about that. But yeah, I would probably put this. Yeah, I need some dividend stocks on my portfolio for sure. I'm going to be investing in some dividend stocks. Okay, now, okay, so that's 2, 4, 6, 7. Okay, now let's see. I'm going to probably put $1,000 in, let me see. Let me go up a little bit here. Yeah, I'm actually doing this. I've thought about it, but I think, of course, I need $1,000 in some growth stocks for sure. We got to put some growth stocks on our portfolio. Again, all of these terminologies that I'm using, I've talked about them on the channel. And so you can always look and, search these in the channel. But growth stocks are stocks that are really growing rapidly. And so you see return on your money really quickly. And these are one of the things that I've used to really exponentially increase my portfolio. So growth stocks are a must. So let's count 2, 4, 6, 8. So we got $2,000 left. We need some index funds here, or ETFs. So then I like the bonds as well. All right. So let's see. What if you got to split the money up good. You got to diversify in a little bit, So we have dividend stocks, have growth stocks. Then you also want to have some index funds money. Let's just do index funds here. Index. Yeah, you got some index in there. And of course, ETFs. The last would be ETFs. Yeah, I definitely have to have some ETFs on my portfolio. And the good thing about with your dividend stocks, you can also have REITs. I talked about those as well. REITs are also dividends. And what do you notice? I'm not really doing a whole lot. I'll probably put some REITs in here with that. Yeah. Let me clean this up here. Okay. All right. And then, alrighty. So let me just kind of make this a little bit more, pleasing to the eye. So up here, we said that you'd have your $1,000 in your HYSA, high yields savings account for your emergency. Okay. And then, let's see, that's distracting there. Okay. And so this 1,000 here, I just want to make sure we can see everything on the screen clearly. Okay, so we have our HYSA, and so I can move this from here and put it up here. So you have your ETFs. All right, this should be a 1. Just want to make sure we can see clearly. So that's a 1. This would be your ETFs. And I think, I think that's it right there. We are saying REITs here. Yeah. So basically we're saying you're going to add some in REITs as well, dividend stocks and REITs. All right, so this is our portfolio. We get 10K. We're putting $4,000 in CDs. So actually we're saving half of our money. Half of our money is going to savings. We have 5K. And you got to think about it realistically too, right? Because let me jump back on screen here. When life is lifing, and to be honest with you, the only thing that is really, nothing is guaranteed, right? We can be in the stock market and we can anticipate. And like I said, I've read the book, The Psychology of Money, and we can say, oh, I'm for certain this is going to happen. No, we don't know what's going to happen in the stock market. But basically, as you can see, my portfolio, if I were to get 10K right now, I'm saving half of my money, but I'm being strategic about how I'm saving it. I'm saving some in my CD accounts, and I'm saving some in my HYSA just for an emergency in the event that I need it. And then, of course, we're going over to the good old stock market and we're putting some money in our dividend stocks, as well as, which is encompassing your REITs and, of course, whatever type of stocks. And these are your individual stocks, right? And so you're also going to have your growth stocks, which I totally love. And you're going to have your index funds. But you also have to have your ETF. So it looks like I'm splitting my money. Half I'm saving and half I'm putting in the stock market, because really you get really good returns in the stock market if you know what you're doing. So you just got to do your research. So yeah, that's how you can prepare for your 2026 is coming. And so if you have not started investing, if you have not really started saving, this is your sign that you need to, right? This is how you build wealth. And so, yeah, you don't have to have 10K. If you have $1,000, you can do it per ratio, like how I did. 50% you put it in your savings account somewhere, and you dividing that up into CDs, HYSAs, and then the other 50% you put in the stock market. So basically what I'm telling you is you need to diversify your portfolio when you're saving or when you're planning for the future, because we just don't know, right? All right. So I hope this was helpful. Do like, share, and subscribe. And if you know anybody who would like to build wealth, do send this video to them. On this channel, my sole purpose is to bridge the wealth gap, and I do that by sharing knowledge, right? Because I believe that we all deserve to be wealthy. You deserve to be wealthy. I deserve it. And it's not just a privilege, it's a right. So until next time, see you.